You're live. I have a lot of time to charge this thing between there and then another 20 minutes there. I'm not really sure how all this is working. I'm trying to understand that. It's kind of difficult.
Okay, welcome everyone to game two. This one is, we are still at Altoona, but this tournament game will be against Eau Claire Memorial. Lancers not managing to win their last game, but we'll see if they can pull off this one. This is Memorial's first game today, so we'll see how they do. Looks like starting for Altoona today, we have numbers 15, 5, 22, 23, 10, and 25. Yeah. And then starting for Lancers, we have Bryn Schoenbeck, Allison Schaller, Erica Oster, Nicole Schoenbeck, Claire Schoenbeck, Annie Oster, and libero will be Faith Kazemba. Libero for Altoona is number 7. We'll see who subs in for who at the beginning. Number 7 libero on Altoona coming in for number 23. And libero for Emmanuel, Faith Kazemba coming in for Claire Schoenbeck. Okay. Let's get this show on the road. Bryn Schoenbeck will be starting off the game today. Received by number 7. And number 25, spiking it down at Nicole Schoenbeck. Very nice and fast play there by Memorial. Looks like number 2 will be serving for Memorial. Received by Nicole over to Bryn. And he's spiking it down, manages to get it down to 7. And number 2, almost blocked by Allison. All right, Nicole to Bryn, and Erica tipping it over, and number 2 going for that. All right, Bryn setting it over to Allison, who gets it through the block and manages to claim the point for Emmanuel. We are now at 1-1. Erica Oster will be serving. She puts it up, received by 22, over to Alexis. Bryn not able to get to that before it hits the ground. We got number 25 for Memorial serving. Received by Milena over to Bryn, and Allison spiking it a bit too far outside. And number 25 serving for Memorial. Received by Milena over to Bryn, but I think that might have been a lift there. Called on Emmanuel. We're currently at 4-1. All right, the serve is received by Milena, who's not able to dig it up into the air. All right, Milena to Bryn. Allison hitting it over to 25. Number 5 sets it, but one of their players crossed the line, so the point goes to Emmanuel. Faith Kazemba will be serving. Received by the other libero, number 7. And number 22 is the one who gets to spike it and just gets it inbounds. Now we're at 6-2. Memorial is in the lead. All right, number 3. Received by Milena, Alexis, and Bryn hits it over to 7. And number 23 sort of slapped it down at Claire. And Bryn tries to bump it over, but it goes not the direction she wants. And now number 3 will be serving. Received by Milena over to Bryn. And that would be Alexis Eichley getting it in between the block and bouncing out both the players. Oh, Avery Quam serving. All right, received by other libero number 7 for the 3, and that would be 23, spiking it down at the Lancers, but going a bit outside, out of bounds. Now we're at 7-4. Avery Quam gets it over to 22, and that would be number 23, spiking it down at Faith, who knocks it out of bounds. Number 22 will be serving for Memorial. It's 8-4. Faith not able to get to the dig. All right, timeout called by Emmanuel. Hopefully, the coaches are trying to get the players all rallied up again. We'll see if they can come back from this 5-point deficit here. They did in the last game, even though Altoona managed to pull ahead at the end there, but we shall see what happens. Anyone who has any questions, comments, or concerns, be sure to comment either in our Discord channel or in our comments section on this video. I'm not sure which will work, but just so that you guys can let us know if there's anything wrong with the video or anything like that. Coaching for the Lancers, we have Joe Lau and Jennifer Schaller, and doing book is Christian Kazemba. Not sure who the coaches of Memorial are, so I don't have a sheet or anything. But anyways, Bryn spikes it, gets blocked. Avery sets up Bryn, who spikes it, gets blocked again, but manages to get past it. 15 down to Milena, who's not able to get it to Avery to hit it over the net again. So now we have number 22 serving again for Memorial. She gets it over to Milena, over to Avery, and Bryn spikes it into the net. Now we are at 11-4. Altoona is, oh, sorry, Memorial is up. All right, number 2 serving it to Milena, over to Avery, who sets up Alexis, who spikes it into the net. So now we are at 12-4. Number 22 serves to Faith. Nice dig there, but Avery not able to see that in time to get to it. Now we're at 13-4. Emmanuel now at a 9-point deficit. We'll see if they can make a bit of a comeback here. Number 22 serves to Faith, over to Avery, and Bryn spikes it. Does not manage to go into the net. They've been spiking a lot into the net recently. We'll see if they can change their ways after this little brief intermission here, this timeout. All right, number 22 serves to Milena, over to Faith, and Bryn spikes it down. All right, number 23 tips it, manages to get it past the block and onto the floor. Now we are at 15-4. Abby Eichel coming in for Milena. All right, number 22 will be serving. Gets it over to Faith, to Avery, who sets up Bryn, who bumps it over to 7. And then number 14 with a spike down to Avery, who saves it. And then number 3 to 14. And number 15 with a spike received by Abby. Avery to Alexis. Number 3 bumping it over to 23. Abby to Avery to Bryn, who spikes it down to 15. Number 7. Nice play there by Memorial, able to save it. Avery saves it, but 4 hits called on the Lancers. Point goes to Altoona. We're now at 18, and Lancers are now at 4, or they have been at 4. 22 to Faith to Avery, and Claire with the wild bump goes a bit out of bounds. All right, 22 serving, received by Abby, over to Avery, and Bryn spiking it down to libero 7, who it goes out of bounds off of her. All right, we have Alexis Eichel serving for the Lancers. Gets it over to 7, over to 3, and that would be number 23 with the spike. Avery not able to get that off the floor in time. Now we're at 18-5. Yeah. All right, 7 libero down to Caitlin, and Claire with the spike, bit too powerful, out of bounds. All right, number 7 libero will be serving again for the Memorial. Yeah, Memorial. Not sure what their team name is. That one does not manage to get over the net. It hits the side. Claire Schoenbeck serving again. Received by 7, and Bryn blocks it. Nice block there by Bryn. They managed to claim that point. Now we're at 18-8. Claire will be serving. Gets it over to 12 in an ace. Goes off of her and out of bounds, out uncontrollably. Sorry, not 12, 21. Claire to 21. Over to 3, and number 25 spikes it, gets blocked by Bryn. Number 14 hits it out of bounds. Now we are at 18-9. Lancers now only down by 9. Claire to 7, and number 3 gets it over but crosses the line. Now we are at 18-8. Claire to serve again. Over to number 7. 9, and number 25 spikes it down. Claire not able to get that one. Now we have number 7. Number 5 will be serving for Memorial. It's it over to Faith, to Avery, and Allison with a very nice spike there. Managed to get it right in the open area where there are no Memorial players. Bryn Schoenbeck serving for the Lancers. Now the score is 19-11. Wait, is that a 10 or an 11? I'm not really sure from here. I'll know in the next point. All right, received by 21. And number 10 down to Caitlin. And Annie hits it over. Number 5 bumping it over to 22. Over to Caitlin, to Bryn, who sets up. Erica gets blocked. Bryn setting it over to 5, 10. And 21 spiking it. Point goes to the Lancers. So yeah, it was 19-11. Now it's 19-12. Bryn serves it down to 21, and 25 is the one with the hit over to Bryn. Sorry, Faith sets up Erica, who sets it over, and point goes to Altoona. I'm not sure what was just called there. I think someone from the back row hit it in the spot where they weren't supposed to. Now we are at 21-12. 21-12. Memorial in the lead. Number 2. Down to Caitlin, to Bryn. Avery with a nice spike there. With Erica Oster serving for the Lancers. Over to 22. That'll be number 25 with the spike. Manages to get it in another open area right at the end of the court. Now we're at 22-13, I believe. 25 will be serving. Received by Milena to Bryn. Annie with the spike, but double hit called on Lancers. And now we are at 23-13. At 25 serving to Milena. Annie not able to get that up in the air where she wants it. Now Memorial is at set point. And 25 gets to serve it. For Milena to Faith, to Bryn, gets it over. Number 5 bumping it over to 22, spikes it, and gets the point. So that means Memorial claims the first set here. Very nice game played by them. Managed to keep a very nice lead ahead of the Lancers. Lancers did manage to get a few points right in the middle there, but Memorial came back from that and got the rest. So we will take a brief intermission here in between sets and stay tuned for the rest of the game. All right, back at it again. Number two will be for Memorial. Will be starting off this second set. Memorial claiming the victory over the first one. Nicole to Bryn and Erica spiking it down. All right, number 22 spikes it. Way too powerful. Slams against the back bleachers out of bounds. Bryn Schoenbeck will now be serving for the Lancers. Over to 22 to number 5 who sets up 25 who spikes it out of bounds as well. Now we are at 2-0. Bryn Schoenbeck. Received by 7. Over to 5 who sets up 25 who tips it over. Bryn setting up. Erica. Very nice, powerful spike there. Number 7 tries to dig it. It just sort of hits her hand and just rolls around on the ground. All right, Bryn. Over to 2. Over to 5. And number 22 tries to spike it. Gets blocked. Lancers taking that point. Wow, they're playing very well in this second set. Bryn gets the serve. Over to 22. To number 25 who bumps it over to Faith. Bryn to Allison who hits it over to 2. 22 hitting it over to Annie who's not able to get that off the ground. Now we're at 4-1. Number 25 for Memorial serving. I think they're called the Old Abes. All right. Bryn down to Annie, who spikes it down and goes out of bounds off Memorial. And we have Erica Oster serving for the Lancers. It's now 5-1. Received by 7, over to 6, and number 10 down to Allison. Allison tips it over. But point goes to the Lancers. Now we are at 6-1. Erica down to 22, over to 6, who sets up number 23, who hits it down to Faith. And then number 22 blocks it. And we got Bryn sending it over. Number 23 not able to get it back over the net. Now we're at 6-1. Erica over to 7. Number 5 to 10. Erica down to Bryn. And that would be Allison with the spike. Number 22 over to Faith to Bryn. And Annie spiking it down. Gets it past the block and onto the floor. Very nice spike there by Annie Oster. Erica Oster will be serving for the Lancers. It's now 7-1. Received by number 7 over to 10 who bumps it over to 22. Erica receives over to Bryn. Sets up. Alexis Eichley who spikes it down to 5, who's not able to get that back up there. So now we're at 8-1. Lancers are in the lead. Erica down to 7. Number 5 to 23, who spikes it down right in the open area. Now we're at 8-2. All right. Looks like it'll be number 3 serving for Memorial. Received by Faith. Bryn setting up Allison. Gets blocked over to Faith. Bryn to Annie, who spikes it into the net. We are now at 8-3. Number 3 serving again. Puts it up there to Abby. who's not able to receive that and get it back in bounds. Number 3 serving again. Up to Faith, to Bryn, and that would be Alexis spiking it down to number 24. Yeah. Faith Kazemba serving for Emmanuel. The score is 9-4. All right, 7 to number 24. Spikes down to Abby. Bryn to Annie. Bit too powerful. Now we are at 9-5. Got number 22 here. Number 22 down to Faith. Over to Bryn. And that'll be Annie tipping it over to number 7. Number 3 to 23, who gets it in bounds. All right. Number 22 puts it up to Faith. Number 21 spikes it back down to Faith. And then Bryn sets up Alexis. And then number 24 over to Alexis. And then number 23 setting up 21, who spikes it down to Abby. Bryn bumps it over to Annie. Annie spikes it out of bounds. Now we are at 9-7. Memorial managing to come back here after quite a deficit. I'm saying that way too much. Faith bumps it out of bounds. We are now at 9-8. Memorial only down by 1. Wow, they really made a comeback here. 22 serving, but it goes into the net. Lancers now at 10. Memorial at 8. Avery Quam will be serving for the Lancers. Puts it up and over to number 22. We're to 3 and 23 with the spike down to Alexis Eichley. Goes out of bounds off of her. Number 7, Libero. Looks like it'll be her serving now. For Memorial. Gets it over to Abby. Over to Avery and Bryn spiking it down to 22. And we got number 21 spiking it out of bounds. Now we're at 11-9. The Lancers in the lead. Alexis will be serving this one. Puts it up to 7. 3 setting up 25. Gets it down to Alexis really quickly. Avery with the very long bump manages to save it and get it back over. Number 24 spiking it out of bounds, and Lancers claim that point. Very nice play on, very nice teamwork on Lancers' side. Got Alexis serving. We're to 21. And that would be Erica Oster spiking it down at Memorial. And gets the point for the Lancers. Now have 13-9. Lancers are in the lead. Alexis gets it over to 21. Number 7 sets up 25, who tips it down. Where there are no Lancers. We are now at 13-10. We'll see what Memorial can do here. Number 5 will be serving. Puts it up and over to Caitlin Berman, who bumps it. And not able to get it back over the net. We have number 5 now serving for Old Labe. Received by Faith. Over to Bryn, who tips it over. And then we have Bryn going up for the block. Does not go to her. And then Claire spiking it down and goes out of bounds off of number 7. Claire now gets to serve this one. She puts it up. Received by 21. And that would be number 10, spiking it down, goes out of bounds off of Caitlin. Now we are at 14 to 12. Lancers only with a 2-point lead. Let's see what they can do here. Number 2 for Old Abe. The Memorial Old Abe's serving. Kari Wales coming in for her first time on Varsity. She receives over to Avery and Allison down to number 2. Number 22 over to Faith, over to Kari, and Erica not able to receive that. Number 2 serving for Memorial. That one goes into the net. Bryn Schernbeck serving for Emmanuel. She puts it up. It's over to 7, and that would be an ace. Bryn Schernbeck serves to number 7. For number 5, who sets up number 25. And Annie Oster blocks it. It goes out of bounds. All right. We have number 25 for Old Abe serving. Gets it over to Faith. To Bryn, who sets up. Erica, who spikes it down to 25. Number 2. Over to 10. Over to Kari. Over to Bryn. And that would be Annie spiking it down. Gets it on the floor before Memorial can get it back up there. All right. So now we have Alexis coming in and Erica serving. She serves to 22 over to number 5. And then gets it up there to Alexis over to Allison, who spikes it down. Then we have number 22 spiking it a bit too powerful. It goes out of bounds. Erica Oster serving. She gets it over to 7. Over to 23, who spikes it down and gets the point. We are now at 18 to 15. Lancers have a 3-point lead only. We'll see what they can do here. Oh boy. Sorry about the camera moving around a little bit. 1 second. No, you're good. Whoop. Number 3 serving for Memorial. Down to Bryn. And that would be Allison Schaller spiking it. Abby to Annie. Number 22 setting it over to 23. And Bryn setting up Allison, who spikes it down. Got Abby to Faith. Number 23 to 3. That would be number 14 with the spike and claiming the point for. Claiming the point for Memorial. There we go. I fixed that. All right. Received by Faith. Goes out of bounds off of Memorial. So it looks like we have some confusion down on the court. It'll be a timeout called by the Lancers so they can figure out their order. Currently the score is 19 to 16. Okay. It's back up and over. We have Faith Kazemba serving for the Lancers. The score is currently 20-16. She puts it up and over to 7. Number 3 to number 14. Received by Annie. Over to Bryn. And that would be Alexis with the spike over to 7. Number 22 spikes it, but it goes out of bounds. All right, we got Faith Kazemba serving. Gets it over to 7, over to 3. On 23, down to Faith. Bryn to Claire. Gets blocked. Bryn back to Claire. And then Annie with the spike and manages to get it past the block and onto the floor. The score is currently 22-16. Faith serves it to 23. And then number 23 is the one with the spike. Faith to Claire, and Alexis hits it out of bounds. Score right now is 22-17. 22 serves it to Faith. Over to Bryn, and Faith down to 23. Number 7, 21. Annie Bryn sets up Alexis, spikes it down to 3. Number 14 to 21. And goes out of bounds off of Annie. Score is 22-18. See if the Lancers can keep their lead or if Memorial can come back. 22 serves into the net. Now we are currently at 23-18. The Lancers are in the lead. Avery Quam down to number 7. Number 3 to number 23, tips it over to Faith. Avery to Bryn, who hits it over to 21. 22 spikes it and lands inbounds. Currently, we are at 23-19. Well, they claiming that last point. All right, we got Claire to Avery, and Alexis tries to tip it over, but it goes into the net. And number 7, serving down to Abby, who hits it out of bounds. Number 7 again. The score is 23-21. Memorial catching up a bit. Number 7 serves into the net. Lancers now at their set point. Alexis will be serving. Down to 22. Over to 3. 21 sets it over. Claire to Bryn, who gets it down there with her spike. Lancers claim victory of this set. We'll be starting the third set here. Both teams have won one, so we will see what happens next. Stay tuned for the rest of the match. Both teams make their way back out onto the court as we get ready for this third and final set of the match. We're only playing three, best 2 out of 3. Both teams so far have each won one set. So it's anyone's game right now. We'll see what happens. Number 2 will be starting off serving for Memorial. Gets it down to Nicole. Over to Annie, who is not able to receive it. Got number 2 serving again. Well, Memorial claiming the first points of the set. All right, Bryn to Erica, and it goes out of bounds off of number 2. So Emmanuel gets the point. We're now at 1-1. Bryn serving. Down to number 2. Over to number 5, who bumps it over 22. Over to Nicole, who hits it out of bounds. Number 25 will be serving for Memorial. That's 2-1. Memorial's in the lead. Bryn gets it over the net in a wild set there and claims the point for Emmanuel. Sorry for that was called a lift on Bryn. My bad. And the point goes to Memorial. It's 3-1. Got number 5 bumping it over to 22. Received by Annie, but she hits it out of bounds. 25 serving. Down to Nicole. Bryn tips it over. And number 2 not able to get the ball to her teammate. Looks like we have Erica Oster serving for the Lancers. Received by 7. Over to 6, but Memorial not able to get that back over after even 4 hits. Erica. Received by 7. Over to 5. Number 22 spikes it down. Gets it past the block and onto the ground. It's now 5-3. Memorial's up. Number 3 will be serving. Gets it over to Faith, to Bryn. Allison tries to spike it over, but gets blocked. But the block goes out of bounds, so Lancers get that point. Faith Kazemba serving. It's a bit too powerful. It goes out of bounds. And we're at 6-4. 22 serving. This one goes into the net. Now we are at 6-5. Avery Quam serving. That is an ace. No one went for that one. Now we are all tied up, 6-6. Avery down to number 7. Number 3 setting up 23, who spikes it out of bounds. Looks like the line judge was not paying attention. So they're doing a redo. Number 17, Avery down to 22. There's some miscommunication on Memorial's part. Number 7 didn't know the ball was going that way. Timeout called by Memorial, who's now down by 1. Lancers have taken the lead. It's now 7-6. We'll see if they can pull off a victory here. Memorial played a pretty nice first set, staying well ahead of the Lancers. Lancers' second set, though, they managed to claim the victory over the Old Abes. We'll see what will happen in this third set. It's still pretty close right here. Avery Quam will now be serving for the Lancers. Avery puts it up to 22. Over to 3, who sets up 23, who sets it over. Ball lands in bounds where Abby is not able to get to it. All right, we got number 7. She serves and it goes into the net. Alexis Eichele serving for the Lancers. Now it's 8-7. Over to 7, over to 3, and 25. Serves down to Avery, to Claire, and Bryn to 22, to number 3 to 21. And Alexis to Avery, and Bryn bumping it over to 7, who bumps it to 3, who sets up 25, who tips it to Bryn. Claire bumping it over to Erica. Number 3, bumping it over to Claire. And number 7 not able to get that to number 3, her teammate. We are now at 9-7. Alexis Eichele serving down to number 7, over to 3. And number 25 tips it over, but Lance is not able to get to that. Now we're at 9-8. Number 5, serving for the Lancers. Gets it down to Faith, over to Avery. And Bryn gets it over, number 22 to number 21. Bryn to Avery. And Erica with a nice spike lands right in the corner of the court. Okay. Looks like Claire Schoenbeck will be serving for the Lancers, with the score being 10-8. Claire Schoenbeck up and over to 21. Number 5 setting up. Number 25. Bryn Schoenbeck spiking it down. But the point goes to the Lancers because Memorial double hit it. Claire Schoenbeck serving down to number 7. And number 10 tries to spike it over, but does not go in the direction she wants. It goes outside the court. So now we're at 12-8. Claire serving down to 7, over to 5. And number 21 bumps it over to Caitlin. And then Avery to Bryn, who spikes it, gets blocked back. Caitlin to Erica, bumps it over to 7. Number 5 setting up 25. Hits it down, and Lancer's not able to get to that. Now we are at 12-9. Number 2. This goes into the net. So, looks like it'll be 13-9. Bryn Schoenbeck serving for the Lancers. Bryn down to number 2. Number 5, wait a second. I'm not sure what was just called there. I didn't look at the ref in time. I think someone must have crossed the line or... Oh, no, it was a bad rotation. Lancers get that point, so we are at 14-9. Bryn Schoenbeck serving again. Bryn down to 7, over to 5, and number 25 with the tip over. They get it, and point goes to the Old Abes. So we are at 14 to 10. Lancers are up. Caitlin receives. Bryn sets, and Annie tries to block, but it gets, or tries to spike, but it gets blocked. Number 5 over to 22, who spikes it, gets blocked by the Lancers, and lands back on their side. Looks like they were only playing to 15, so Lancers win the match against Memorial. Very nice game played by both teams. Lancers managing to pull back in both of the final sets. A very nice game played by both. Tune in for the next game, which should be sometime. I don't know. Just stay tuned for our next game. It'll be in a little while. We don't play next. We don't play this next game, and then there will also be a 20-minute break after that, so it'll be a little while before we play again. So stay tuned, and we'll see you guys in a bit.